Hey, y'all. Nobody is going to be here for a few minutes because nobody knew I was doing this, including myself. So give it a minute. Let me make sure it pops over to YouTube so I can share it. Hold on. Okay. That's posted. Now, let me see here. I just want to address a few things because there's some stuff that's being said that is legit not happening. Hey, y'all. Sorry, I kind of pulled a fast one on everybody and just popped in. But I am going to try and be as respectful and kind as I can be. And there's my cat acting like a fool. How are you guys? How is everybody? Give me a second. I'm trying to get this. Okay, there. Hey. Hey, everyone. So I guess there's a certain creator that's like spiraling out of control right now. I'm sure many of you have been watching it, but she's making some very bold statements, and she made some very bold statements this morning. So I want to clarify a few things. First and foremost, Judy Beal has nothing to do with the nonsense page. She is a follower of mine and somebody that I highly adore as a human being. She's a wonderful person, but she is not affiliated with nonsense at all. So Molly telling her to be careful is probably not the right thing to do because she hasn't done anything. In fact, she's extremely respectful and has been to all of you guys. I just can't understand it whatsoever. Secondly, and huge thing if you are not paying attention on Facebook, but I just posted screenshots today about some media stuff. Now, we've all heard them claim over and over and over again that they wanted anything possible, right? And always possible, they wanted any attention they could get on this case. I heard MGL say last night that she knows who you are. That is why they are being quiet about you. Oh, sure. I don't care if she does know who I am. To be honest, I really don't care. Let me see Lisa's. I watched yesterday's live and I try really hard not to get involved in the drama. I had no idea who those people are. Yeah. That's another one. Like, she's just been going. Her and Molly are on like the same downhill track right now. It seems like I don't have a clue what's going on, but anyways, it's been nonsense. But I posted on Facebook today some screenshots. This all just panned out weirdly too. But I posted a comment from the group and I said, has anybody ever heard or did anybody ever follow up with this reporter? Well, pop in my inbox. Here comes screenshots. That reporter who is local to Yuma, a legit reporter, did try reaching out to the family. She did do an interview with Marvon Sr. She made that statement and tried to post a post in the group. If you want to see the screenshots, they're over on Facebook. But if you read the screenshots with it, Letitia denies or basically declines the interview with media. Letitia declines it. It sounds like Marvon Sr. went through with it and interviewed with her. And in the screenshot, she says, what does it say? I just interviewed Vaughn's father, Marvon Jackson Sr. The story should be premiering within the next couple weeks. Well, that was a month ago, 2 months ago, probably. What? What? So everybody has been trying to get media attention, trying to get all these people on it, and here they declined media attention. And I understand like people have totally different feelings about media, but at this time it was being presented to us that they would do anything and everything and they needed media. They needed all of this help. They needed us to, people were reaching out. Molly's followers pounding the pavement trying to get media attention. Other people from Facebook trying to get media attention. And now we're finding out that it was potentially declined. And Marvon Sr. did do an interview, but it never aired. There's issues with that. Hey, y'all. Which part, Amy? The whole thing is mind-blowing to me because when I actually asked that, I was really curious to find out if anybody had heard anything from these alleged reporters that were trying to cover the story at a point in time. That's what my original question was this morning. And then I get screenshots, and I also have the screenshots of Letitia explaining, and I'll post those here shortly. Letitia explaining to the admins part of the reason why she was upset with Wynette. And it had to do with Wynette reaching out to do an interview with Katie. And these are all things that you can see and read in these screenshots. And again, it comes down to, in my opinion, and you'll have to make your own decision after you read these, but in my opinion, it's like she's upset because Wynette and Marvon Sr. had already been there to see Marvon, and she thought by them doing interviews and by them speaking out, it could potentially ruin her chances of seeing Marvon. Because she mentions in the screenshots, her and her kids have not even got to see, like the kids haven't got to see Marvon, his siblings. So there's just so much, you guys. And then you have Molly sitting over here threatening people that are not affiliated, not associated, not nothing. I don't know what else. Like they probably are trying to bait me, which is totally fine. But again, at the end of the day, if it comes out who I am, it comes out who I am. What's that going to change? It doesn't change. My identity does not change these screenshots. My identity does not change the fact that this was brought to social media by somebody else. My identity does not change that there is all of these questions that I'm one of the only ones that's trying to answer. But my identity doesn't change that. The questions still remain. You can spin this 18 different directions like you've been trying. And all of the great shows and threats and all of this other stuff. It's absolutely ridiculous. Bullshit, Nanya. She has said that how many times? How many times has she put that offer up and said, if she only would let them see it? Hold on. Why are they needing her to take stuff down to see Marvon if there's a legal binding agreement? Wilma, that's a very good idea. And I mean, that's a very good point. And that's probably true for some people. There's going to be people that don't like me. And that's totally fine. Most of the people I haven't really had any conflict major with anybody. So I don't expect major things except from one person, but that's already been, we've been there, done that. Like, that's it. Like, I don't have really any type of issues that even if I did, let's say I did and it came out, it doesn't change the facts. It doesn't change the facts. And they go from saying, so one day Molly's saying that nonsense is ran by Katie or Katie's admin or whoever the hell else I've been. And then the next day, today, she's blaming Judy for my page. Make it make sense. Oh, yeah. Yes. Amy, have you seen those screenshots? I'm sure you probably haven't yet. That I just don't understand because she basically kind of alludes to the fact that, and I'm paraphrasing you guys, the screenshots are up on YouTube and also of this conversation with the denial of or declining to take social media or take legit media interview at that point in time. Now, granted, she might have after the fact, and maybe it still hasn't aired, but it doesn't sound that way. I'm leading towards it never happened. Um, and I'm hoping to be able to verify this all, which I should be able to, but I just don't understand either. Like she kept begging and pleading. We all heard the pleas. I don't understand. I really, and why would Marvon Sr. and Wynette being involved and telling their story harm Letitia? If the goal was the same for all parties involved, then why would Marvon Sr. and Wynette have any possibility of harming what Letitia was doing? If everything was on the up and up, why would it just doesn't make sense. There's nowhere you can go. Apparently, they're planning a trip out to Arizona. Well, you know what's really funny about that is I'm actually going to Arizona, but I'm not going to where any of this is at, and we're just going on a weekend getaway. But there's that. So I'll send you guys pictures of palm trees, but mine is vacation, me time, family, nothing to do with that. Yeah, and in these next screenshots, it shows that she's upset. Like that she obviously has disdain, which maybe there's a reason. Again, I'm not trying to judge that. I'm trying to pick apart the pieces of this story do not make sense. I'll read you guys. Oh, I should have put them on here. I'm afraid of sharing. Dang it. Okay. I'll do that later. I got to figure out how to be able to share my screen without really sharing my screen. Yeah. I mean, they know it's not. They know it's not. And they're saying that they know who it is. If they know who I am, here's my thing though. If they know who I am, why am I the only one that she hasn't outed? Come on. She's outed every single other person, which is fine. It might just be part of their bigger game, or maybe they think they're going to sue me for something. I don't know. And I don't care. But because the questions still stay the same, my identity doesn't change the fact of if she was that desperate, why did she decline media attention, especially local media attention, local to their area, where their politicians, their judges, their CPS workers, their people in their community who are greatly involved in their community would see this, right? I just can't understand it. Yeah, Letitia wants all the money and all the attention. She is shady as fuck. That is my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. And Lisa, that's a lot of people's opinions, and everybody's entitled to their own opinions. Like, that's the point that I think everybody has been saying too. Like, there's a lot of us that don't agree on certain things, even on this side, but we're adult enough to speak about it and or at least put it out there, if that makes sense. In a respectful manner, like we can agree to disagree. Yeah, why are we back to Dre? If you guys aren't on Facebook either and you guys have not seen my most recent post, Their anniversary is either today or tomorrow. I might be off on the date. That's why we're confirming just to make sense. So I'm not wrong. But if you have not seen that post, if you have positive experiences or something positive and uplifting to say in honor of their anniversary, and if you are a creator, I challenge you to please put out something positive. It doesn't have to be an anniversary one, just something positive in Marvon's story and do something positive, uplifting photos. I'm asking that if you have like a phrase or words to describe a connection that you had to the relationship, what you admired about their relationship, anything. And then I'm going to go through and read them with a slideshow of beautiful photos because this is Marvon's story, right? No matter what people want to think and feel at the end of the day, it's about time that some respect and dignity is shown to Marvon and his family. What? MGL is claiming Dre is now dragging LB as the egg donor, but evidence has been out there. What? Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing is, I don't know. They maybe she is typically involved a lot deeper in stuff than she is, but I think people will be shocked if I was to ever show my full conversation with her. I know people would be shocked because it hasn't been my experience with her at all. She has not tried to well, she has really backed off. I don't think I've really heard anything out of her about like this story or anything she is posting about in a while. I know she has been addressing some of the things that have been sideline attacks of people that have been involved in this, but otherwise, usually it's something I post and then she'll be like, "Oh my god, I didn't even know that happened." Because it usually involves her, but she doesn't know until I post about it because we don't communicate. Like people think we communicate. She finds out after the fact 99% of what I've been posting about her and then she'll point out something and say, "Oh my gosh, how did you find that out?" And I'm like, I didn't even realize that was in there." So it's been weird. Are you kidding me? They said here's the thing. I have never can anybody here, and you can call me on my shit, but have I ever encouraged any of you to demand refunds? Have I ever said that to any of you guys? And please be honest, because if I have, please tell me. I think I've encouraged you guys to do whatever you felt was best in your private and personal situation, right? Like, I think that's what I've stuck to. Maybe I slipped up, but I really don't think I've ever encouraged anybody to ask for donations or refunds. But at the same time, I also understand why that's being requested. And for them to deny that there's even legit reasons for it, it's freaking mind blowing. Hey, Roseanne. Yeah, she got. You guys, Molly did a 16-minute video this morning. If you haven't seen it, especially if you're from Uni's camp, you might want to go screen record it. I do have the whole thing already. And I do have the pieces from her live that she's probably on right now already too. The main pieces, not all this extra dragging continual thing back to the beginning. His incident was May 23rd. Y'all, his incident was May 23rd. What are we doing? It's September 20th. Why is she going back here again? And the stuff that they are talking about with Nay the MUA, Nunya, are you in here? Is that 2017, 2018? Am I right? 2018 more? End of 2017? That's 4 or 5 years ago. And oh, yeah, She just said that too. She said that all of this is starting, and she saw a post in the Dono Girls group or whatever that group is, that they're going after Letitia because she gave Marvon up for adoption. First and foremost, Molly, sit the fuck down and shut up for once in your life, because that's never been said by anybody. I have not seen one single person make a comment at all in the negative about Letitia giving Marvon up for adoption. I have not seen one single one. There's probably trolls that have said something. You're right. But most people have been like, that's an incredible thing to do. I'm glad she did that. Respectful of that. That is nowhere close to any factual thing in what is happening. And the Dono Girls, that is not something, if you know any of those girls at all or have talked to any of them, that's not something they're going to do. And as far as calling her school or her son's school, calling salons, how are we ever going to know that this actually happened? Again, she's not showing proof that it happened. You're just expected to trust her and believe what she's telling you, that all of these people are harassing her and doing all this stuff. But she can't talk about it because Letitia's got attorneys, and then she's going to sue. Yeah, I don't freaking know. Yes, Exposure Room UK. And you know what? Here's the thing. Me and her have talked about, like, I don't agree with certain things she said or does. You know, there's things that she does, that there's things that I do that she doesn't like. Let's be honest, we're human beings. But when it comes to the facts, you cannot deny the facts. And Katie was not lying. Like, when I would share Katie's posts, it was because I could confirm it without Katie or Katie's information that that was factual evidence, that she was not being a liar like the rest of them. I could prove that. And when I started being able to do that, I just had to step away. And that's when I knew. I also knew at that point in time, I didn't want to involve myself or get close to her because she was being targeted in so many different directions. And like I said, some of it I don't know about the past shit. I'm just talking about in this case. Rebecca, and that's why I say there's no way that she knows. If she knows who I am, it's either she's keeping it quiet because they think they're going to do this big, huge exposure on my life. You guys will really be bored with that too, because I'll tell you everything on my own, anything you want to answer or ask when it's that time. Like, it's not like that, but she likes to dox people too much that I think she would have came live and instantly been like, exclusive breaking news. This is nonsense. So, and today I'm Judy. Yesterday I was KJ or KJ's admin, or, you know. Oh, no, on that, but she's saying, Flava, that I don't know if that's what she was alluding to today or not. She was alluding to a totally different, I don't know where she's at. Let's be honest. She's spiraling. She doesn't know what's going on. Hey, Rachel, thanks for popping in. Sorry, I just needed to address some of this stuff because first and foremost, we're over here asking questions, getting information like, okay, there was an actual reporter that did do an interview. Now we're seeing that interviews were being declined, but we're still supposed to believe that the family was willing to do anything and everything and has done everything. There's still no court filings. She was just saying on our live, basically, that she'll take down her videos if Dre lets them see him, but supposedly have a court order that says they can see him. Like, I just can't. Ooh. Yes, Desiree, I did hear that. Desire, is it Desire? Come on, read the screen. I should probably wear my glasses when I'm doing this. I I don't know what that attempt was either. The whole, "I've got a full report and, you better stop, you better stop." Why are people supposed to stop if they're posting facts? I just don't get it. Yeah, pirate, it's not a you're not allowed. Right? Flava, here's my thing. If there's a court order, right, allowing visitation, that's what we've been told. We've been absolutely told that there's a court order, their words. It's a public filing, first and foremost, so we should be able to see it. Secondly, that there was a court order allowing visitation. That's how she was able to do it. So let's say court order exists. Then there's legal avenues that they have to take to rectify that situation. So then they would be filing contempt, right? Instead of coming on YouTube and begging somebody and basically using their videos and content as leverage, which we know will never go. Yeah, I heard that wicked. I messaged Roseanne right away. In fact, somebody messaged me, thankfully, somebody else was paying attention and caught that and sent me a message about that. So I was able to send that on to them, which I really appreciate you guys watching out for each other and catching everything. You guys are doing great, and I appreciate it so much. Well, shit kind of feels that way at this point in time. You want to come up, Nanya? Let me drop the link again. Sorry. I get going and then I forget to keep dropping it. This whole streaming thing is a little bit weird to me, but I'll pick it up and figure it out sooner or later. I just got really flaming mad, so I was sitting there like, why are we going back again? Like, we're going back to the start. And nobody's mad that you're talking about it. And I don't think anybody cares where this story is. It wasn't supposed to be a Facebook story. It wasn't supposed to be a YouTube story. It wasn't supposed to be, it should have never been a story. Should have never been a story. No, nope. Lisa, they flashed a tiny screenshot at a screen and they did like the screenshot that you could barely see. So we got a screen grab of it. It's posted, but you can't really, I mean, what you can make out doesn't make sense. There's no file number on it, or there's no case number, there's no stamp on it that's shown at least. She supposedly reads through this court order and people are kind of questioning some of that. But she says it's, in her words, she says it's public record. So yes, you should be able to find it. You should be able to 100% file it and find it and nobody can. There's nothing there. Thank you, Welsh. You're up. You can
I'm here.
Perfect. Okay.
So I although I have my own opinion of it, I'm actually curious to discuss with the group of people here. So here are my questions. Let's just start from the beginning. So we know, because we have screen records, screenshots, all of that stuff. So we know that the morning of June 11th, Letitia finds out via her cousin finding it on a video on TikTok and tells her about Vaughn's status. We know that sometime throughout the day on June 11th, Letitia texts Dre and calls Dre. We know that the text to Dre was essentially, I'm texting you because my son is sick and you didn't tell us and I want to be there, and like I need to know that what's going on. And we know that at that point in time they have a conversation and they say, okay, yes, you can come and see. We've heard that phone call that they had with each other. We know we have a screen record of later on that night where somebody has sent screenshots of Letitia's post that she did on June 11th, and it's still there, so you can go through the comments yourself. But you can see that there are family members and siblings that in those comments start bashing Dre, calling her names, making accusations at that point in time. Somebody screenshots that, I guess, and sends it to Dre, I'm assuming, or she sees it herself. I don't know how that happened. But then she sends the text and says, "You know what? I'm not going to deal with this right now. That's just a lot of drama that, Vaughn doesn't need." My question is this. So, if you start off with the drama, then like I just truly wonder if any of them, any family member ever sat back and said, dang, maybe we should just really dial it all the way back because this is going pretty far. Is it possible that a lot of those lives they didn't attend them? So a lot of the accusations that we're be putting out there, no matter who the content creator is, but
Mhm.
is it possible that they just didn't see the damage that was being done by those creators? Again, no matter who it is, I'm not just talking about one specific creator, I'm saying across the board. And is it possible that they, at that point in time, they became so far in that it was like, well, heck with it. We're just we're doubling down on this one.
I I have a hard time believing that because I've seen posts from the family addressing the drama between the creators and stuff that was going on, and talking about the different groups and the pages when stuff started to kind of spiral. And we've seen comments and posts from them on multiple platforms. So, in my personal opinion, they might have missed how big it was getting. They were aware to some point. I can't be 100% of how aware and how many of them were aware. This is a big family too. We're talking 7 siblings. So, and the lines of communication, is there a possibility they missed some of it? Yeah, absolutely. Uh, It's impossible to keep up with all of it,
Okay. Do
but
you
I feel like
think
they know.
do you think that the creators who looked into potentially taking this story or who have covered this story, again, no, not one specific creator, but across the board, do you think that those creators looked and seen the volume and the numbers that Dre had following her and thought about the potential views and clicks and money that they could make off of covering this story?
Ugh. Yes and no. Um, I have to say, I don't think all of the pages that covered it did it for clicks and views. Um, Especially the first pages in the beginning are non-monetized pages. They're definitely not pages that do it for any type of gain or anything like that financially. Clicks and views, maybe, but that wasn't their intent, in my opinion, for some of them. Now, I do think these bigger ones that got involved, yes, absolutely. That was probably a weighing factor. This story hits an emotional impact. And I think anybody that does like true crime or anything like this is aware that these stories pull a lot of attention because of that emotional pull. I mean, it's human nature, right? So I would assume that that's kind of why a lot of them gravitated to it.
Okay. Okay.
My opinion.
I am curious to know, just the people who are watching. We all have seen Letitia be upfront and very visible and have multiple spokespeople. I'm curious as to why people think that Marvon Sr. and Wynette have not been as out front and visible. Like, would they not have the same want and desire to be there with, their son? Would they not want to, like I've seen, and I'm not saying anybody is innocent or anything, I'm just asking questions as I do, but I have seen where, when that was on a live, I think we've seen a screenshot of it or screen record of it. But when that was on a live with Molly, and during that live, Molly is basically like saying, like, "Can you believe Katie did this?" Right? And when that is like, I don't talk bad about anybody. I'm
Mhm.
just saying this is crazy, and I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, why do you guys feel like there's not as much of a push for the father as there is for the mother?
Yeah. That's a good question. I do wonder why. So refunds, is it because Letitia got the majority of the or the donations? Like, have I was curious to know, and if anybody in the comments can answer, has anybody requested a refund from Marvon Senior and or Wynette that donated to them? Now, I haven't talked to anybody that I know donated to them, and I think maybe that's it. Maybe they just didn't get the amount of donations, or there's a lot of factors, but
For me, in my own opinion, I think that people seen the father's willingness to go. He was there before even asking for money.
same,
And I think they started to see a person, Letitia, they started to see her saying things that didn't add up and doing things that didn't add
right,
up. And so they were like, well, wait a second. But I have yet, now I'm not saying that it hasn't happened, but I have yet to see any screenshots or screen recordings where Wynette or Mr. Jackson has been caught in lying to the public. Have you seen any?
um yeah, I think I have. I'm trying to think exactly. I know there's one that it's not like lies about money though, as far as refunds and stuff like that goes. Um there and again, it's hard to say if it's straight out lie or if this was their perception and uh how they took things.
Okay. I did see I seen a really good comment in Rabbit's live yesterday where somebody did mention, why is there not a demand for refunds on the money that, Marvon Sr. got?
Right.
Why is there not a demand for transparency and refunds for the money that Katie
Mhm.
had collected for the father? Why hasn't proof been asked on that? And then I seen somebody else say, why isn't there a demands to show transparency for the donations that people, not Dre has not requested, but people have been sending to Dre. And for me, I think the difference is number one, there, it was stated that the biological father only collected $69 and that was refunded. I don't think anybody is truly pressed about $69 when we compare that to tens of thousands, at the minimum 20,000 from what they speak themselves.
Right.
So that makes a big difference.
Well, she
I
she
think,
was saying 40 today.
oh, nice. Okay. I mean, it changes every day. So
Right.
who really would know at this point? Um,
Hold on.
but
Flava says she knows of one refund request, Flava, that was sent to the dad. That would be the only one that we is known of then. Well, by me. And you're saying you don't know of any, right?
I don't know of any of the refunds being requested from the father. All of the refunds that I've seen proof of, they are all from Letitia.
Same.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So she's saying she knows of one possible or one refund request that was sent to Wynette and Marvon Sr. Do you know if it was honored, declined, anything, Flava? You might not have all that information, sorry, and I'm not trying to put
Yeah.
you on the spot at all. You don't have to answer. We can talk about it later too. I
Yeah.
I just wanted because that got brought up last night on Rabbit's Live, and that is something that over here on my side, you guys know I've been very open about the struggle I've had going back and forth
Oh.
with huh?
Flava sent me the person, and we do know of that one. I didn't realize that they had donated to both sides of it, but
Oh,
that does make sense. So
gotcha. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Thank you for doing that. That's
yeah.
so there is one. Um, did she say the status of it?
I didn't. I honestly, because I'm in here, I'm
Oh,
not very
okay.
knowledgeable. I
You're
I didn't
good.
want to close this out and potentially
So
like leave accidentally. So I just seen the pop up with the name, so I do know.
okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So there might be
Um.
one, but
So here is my next question: Why, again, of the crowd that's here, why do you think that there is no accountability on that side for the part that the family has played in not being able to see Marvon? Okay, thank you, Flava. Thank you. Okay. Flava says the person did file a report.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
See, and Desire said that up above too. She said uh Marvon Sr. with his what's going on, like I think there's
Oh,
some
his
limit
situation.
on,
Okay.
yeah, his situation. So I think there might be, that's why they haven't said as much on lives and stuff, which I would understand. That would make sense.
Yeah, you wouldn't want. I can imagine if I was in that situation, I wouldn't want my name to be anywhere near
Yeah.
that. So I can understand that for sure.
Sorry, I didn't
Um,
want to, but I wanted to say that.
yeah. So
Ask your
I'm
question.
curious. What do you think, nonsense? Why do you think that the family will not acknowledge the part that they are playing in the continual separation or the continual breakdown?
Why do I think the family won't acknowledge it?
Right.
Which
So like
pieces of
they
the
don't
family?
acknowledge the fact that so I think and maybe you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not, of course I don't think that I'm always right, but here's my thing. When I hear them say, I never put the kids or Vaughn or Dre at risk. I never did that, right?
Oh,
So yes, they specifically, well, Letitia did put out a hospital that he was at. So we understand that part. But um the actual asking and requesting and physical in real life witch hunt to me was done by other people. But when those people are your spokesperson, doesn't it mean by default they are fulfilling your wishes? So do they get to claim that, like, oh, my hands aren't red with paint because I didn't actually paint it on the wall? I just told them the vision that goes on the wall. Like, that's kind of how it feels, but I'm curious how other people felt about that. Like, why, they
it's
don't
exactly how it is.
say that again.
That's exactly how it's been, is don't look at what we're doing, just look at all this.
So Flava said for money. Okay. And Granny T agrees with Flava that it was for money. Okay.
I, do I think that it came to social media, and this is where, and again, people can agree with me or disagree with me 100%, but I think that Letitia initially brought it to social media out of anger and fear. I think that anger and fear quickly turned into one poor decision or choice, trying to figure out um, how to make things happen when she couldn't figure it out. And then money got, like, the money aspect, I think that was a looming factor, that money was needed to be able to get there, probably. And so that was hand in hand with it, if that makes sense. Like, the fear of losing him and not being able to see him, the anger at Dre for whatever she assumed was going on, and then the fact that she was desperate because whatever, maybe and this is just an assumption, but maybe her financial situation wasn't in the best situation to up and get there right then and there, because it would, be a little bit costly for to drive. So I think there was kind of a multiple factors at first. Does that make sense?
So do you think her intention before linking with the Facebook groups or anything like that, right? So her posting on her personal Facebook page on the 11th, or prior, we'll say prior, so from the 11th to the 23rd, so we know that there's about 4 or 5 posts in there, and she definitely has a reaction to some of those posts, so I get that.
Mhm.
But do you think that her intention at that time was on a pure level of, I want to be there for my son during this very dire time, and I don't know anything about what has happened or what's going on?
Uh, Going back to the fear. I don't think her initial thought was money. I don't think that the initial thought was money. I think it quickly evolved into a money factor, but I think that she was driven the way she went out of desperation, wanting to know what was going on, feeling wronged by Dre, guilt of her own for their relationship and their past. I can't even imagine all of the emotions that she was going through. But I think those initial reactions quickly turned into a different opportunity. Does that make sense?
Yes. Pirate Girl and Francis, I'm going to come back to your question in a second. However, I will say that I actually disagree. I believe that her very first intention originally was I need to get there. It was a lot of, even to this day, I believe it's a lot of absolution of her own personal guilt and because of their relationship. However, what when it changed for me is on June 13th, she posts again,
Yep.
still on her Facebook page, but she posts a post where Dre shared, an update, and she said this was the only one on Von's side. This is one of few people on Von's side, which was an old friend, an old military friend that had sent in money, and she is livid about her collecting this money. To me, that was very telltale. And again, maybe her intention, again, a lot of times in writing, you can get the intention wrong for sure, but I think it came across like, how dare she collect money for him? I think one of the biggest things, and I'm actually going to go back to Francis's question. So Francis said, I keep wondering, why would one take to the internet for help with such a serious situation? My personal belief is because Dre and Vaughn and their family were on the internet. What I don't think that Letitia had planned for is when she linked with those Facebook admins and started this thing, she did not do any research for herself to know that those people were so anti Dre. She had no clue that they were about to lead her down a road of destruction. And I do believe that when they continued to validate her choices of how she was going about this, not one person in that group brokered peace, reconciliation, let's talk it out. Hey, let's really try and make this work kind of a thing. They didn't do that. They just brokered, how dare somebody do this to you? And when you allow yourself to feel like the victim and people encourage you in that victimhood, you do become a victim in so many different ways. And that is not a true depiction of your choices or your actions as you go. So I don't think that she understood linking with them would really take her down that path. But once she was on it, I also don't think that she was strong enough, or I don't want to say that. I don't think, I think she was so comfortable in that space of being the victim in this that she couldn't break out of it and say, "You know what? You guys need to stop talking. I need to stop getting you to help me because this is getting worse." Like, that's my thing at this point, you know, we're what, for almost, we're a couple of days away from 4 months in, right? And I keep hearing people say over and over and over, like, I've helped families, and I've done this for families, and I've done that for families. But truly, at this point, that family is no further ahead in the resolution or reconciliation or anything like that than they were when you got with them on July 4th, 5th, 6th, something like that. Yes, putting out a fire with gasoline. Claudia, to you, Claudia. Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
exactly what it is. And you're right. And that's why I said, like, the emotions drove it into money. The 13th, that post, look how quickly we went. The 11th, the 12th. And if you guys want to see the full Reddit thread and you don't have Reddit, I posted all 240 screenshots.
Mhm.
You're welcome. I did that because I went through, I didn't even read them all. I was just screenshot. My fingers are sore at the end of the day. Okay. That is something also I'm very particular about stuff. Nanya can tell you this. I'm always like, turn your do not disturb on if you screen record everybody so you don't get notifications and I don't have to edit stuff. But I am particular. So I'm like in their screenshot and I didn't even read a lot of it, but they're all there. You guys, this went from the 11th, she posted. The 12th, Reddit started popping off. And there is a lot of comments from family on that. To the 13th, that somebody was helping from Marvon's side, sent her a $300 thing. And she reposted that and was so upset. I just, but
Flava, I actually do agree. Flava said it's actually worse right now. I believe that, and again, of course, the ultimate hope is for a complete healing miracle. That is ultimately that is the hope and the vibe. But if something were to take a turn for the worse and his life did, officially end, I don't even believe that they would be welcome at the services. And that is what makes it even sadder because I guess what just like it just perplexes me. Like I guess maybe I'm just not that person. I don't know. But like it just perplexes me. Like I would do any and everything that it took to be there. And people are like, yeah, but when you're working with a narcissist or when you're working with a person who's controlling or manipulative, well, guess what? When you're working with a person who you believe is those things, then you find a way to jump through their hoops so that you can get to where you're trying to go. If I hear that it's not against the law for me to do visitation, my arse is on a plane and going to where I need to go. And agreed, Frances said she could have turned to her church. We hear all the time she's very active in her church, other organizations for financial help for obtaining a lawyer. Yes, I mean, where was has the family gone out into their community and done, any car wash donations or anything like
right,
that where they have actively worked to put his name out there for themselves?
I that right there. I've actually questioned that because I know other people have gone and looked at the family's private social media accounts, like their Facebook profiles, that are open. I'm not friending these people and messaging them, but what they post publicly. If you go look, there is a few posts publicly from Letitia, which is the biological mother. There's a few posts from Rochelle, but the rest of the family has been strangely silent on their social media, on their private social medias. Now, in the group, they were a lot more active for a little bit, but they're not even putting his name out there on their own private social media platforms. That's confusing to me.
Yeah, because
And,
if it was my kid, wouldn't my brothers, sisters, uncles, dads, babies,
right.
mamas, turtle be putting it out there at this point? Like I would be asking everybody to share it across every platform they possibly could.
And let me ask you this. If news media got a hold of this and came to you at that time and said, I heard your pleas. Would you like to do an interview and tell your side of the story? Would you decline that before even talking to them? Would you
So
decline
here's
it?
my thing with that though, and I know it's not going to be the popular opinion,
No, I want to
right?
hear it.
So my thing with that is I would want to, but if somebody had me convinced that there are a lot of things I don't know anything about, right? Like, I know, I know we have somebody who can look up every policy and law and police report ever, right? And
Right.
so I cannot do that. That is not my skill set. I've got a lot of other skill sets, but that's not one, right? But here's my thing, because I don't have that, I am trusting that person's word when they say they have all this experience in that. And so when somebody who has all this experience may tell me that, I could understand. I could
Okay.
understand not moving forward with it because what if this doesn't turn out good and I trust this person. Unfortunately, now if I put my trust in the wrong person, that's different then that is on me. That is not on them. That is on me at that point. But to me, like,
So
I
you
can
think there
understand
might have
not wanting to move forward if somebody I trusted said you shouldn't move forward.
okay. So, but you think that at that time she was entrusting in somebody possibly that maybe had been advising her to stay away from that wasn't something she wanted to do or get involved with. So potentially somebody may have offered advice that wouldn't be a good route. And somebody she trusted and believed enough to decline that. I can see
Right.
that. I can see that happening. But again, it goes back to there's a whole piece of this that we'll probably never know, and that happens between Molly's text messages and Letitia's.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, they truly, I hope that they have never shared them with anybody, because if those ever come out, I mean, we've seen bits and pieces of them coming out slowly but surely. But if those ever fully come out, like, the gig is up at that point.
Right. Well, and then to like the fact that Marvon Sr. did an interview. So what it kind of looked like to me was that Marvon Sr. already had done an interview. And I think Letitia was probably afraid of whatever Marvon Sr. and Wynette's involvement in this situation. I think she was trying to distance herself from them for some reason because I think she thought that they would bring problems for her potentially visiting Marvon. I do believe that that's something that she does believe that somehow Wynette and Marvon Sr. have caused problems and or trouble because we've seen Letitia state that she's got Wynette on the same prayer list as Katie. We've seen, I mean, we've seen these things. So some she obviously there's issues there. So I can see where she would also probably distance herself from anything they were doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So hold on. Somebody said earlier, and I wanted to answer their question. Hold on. Mickey Jonas said, "Why didn't she go with Mr. Jackson?" So it's only speculation. We know for sure that they didn't go, and that she was offered. But I'm just speculating. I don't think that the two have a very great relationship. Not even enough to sit in a car for 3,000 miles. Um, I know a couple of people in my life that I could not sit in a car and travel 3,000 miles.
You ain't
Um,
getting me in a car with my ex-husband. Sorry, no fucking way. I don't fault her at all, and I've said that many times.
Yeah, so I understand
Where
the not wanting. I understand the not wanting to ride with them. I don't understand why didn't you carpool?
right, yeah, I
And
would do it a different way. He would have rode on the top in one of those little strap-on luggage
just throw
carriers.
them in the back of the truck in the pickup
Right.
part.
I mean, if you're that desperate, though, I get it. You make sacrifices, so it's a child that they have in common, and I think that's where people are going. But you got to remember, these were kids. They were never married. I don't know the extent of their relationship, how long it lasted. The problem, like, there could be a lot that we don't know in their history too. But it goes back to if she was so desperate, why didn't she take the offer? I understand that line of thinking 100%.
Yeah.
Strap him to the trunk. That's my response. Put him in the
Yeah.
trunk.
So Mocus wants to know, what's the whole point of them trying to gain custody of Vaughn? The man tried to unalive himself, yet they are keeping him on life support. What was Letitia going to do? Um, Honestly, Mocus, I think from the very beginning, with the specific narrative that was put out,
Mhm.
um, the narrative was she has harmed him. She is continually harming him. There was a rumor at one point in time that she was putting things in his IVs. Again, no proof, no videos, no screenshots, no nothing, no words of her saying she was doing that. The only discussion she had was about wanting to get the specific vegan feed that she was buying and taking to the hospital for them to put in for him to have. But that became, she's trying to sneak something into his IV. So when that specific narrative came out, I believe, just my own personal beliefs, or in my opinion, I believe that it was, he's not safe to be with her. And the unfortunate part about that is at that point in time, he wasn't with her. He was in a hospital with doctors and nurses and social workers and administration and ethics committee. Like there's all these other people around who are, you know, which, you know, to their concern, which would make him safe. So why she would need to take him home, I don't think I understand that at all. But that's the best kind of understanding I can have.
I'm gonna go back for a minute.
Okay.
Uh, because I agree with this one. Where'd she go? No, Mickey, I totally agree. I don't think because of that desperation that we've heard the pleas, again, I think there was other options. I don't see it from what we've seen. Again, you make options. And we've also seen the text messages from Wynette to Letitia that, hey, reach out to a certain person. I don't know if it's family or not, but she said that they helped them figure out their trip out there. So basically,
Mhm.
I'm paraphrasing again, but that there was somebody that would be willing to help. So again, I agree with you. I'm just saying, like, I would have to strap him on the top of the car. But if it came down to my kid, I don't have children with him either. So let me be clear on that. I could strap him anywhere and be okay with it. If it was a person I shared custody, I've done that many times for the sake of her. You do whatever you have to for your children at the end of the day. But there's also people that you can't force how you feel and what we morally feel is right and wrong on other people either at times, you know?
Yeah, I also think though I do agree, Mickey, to an extent. It is not a reason to not go. I'm only saying it's a reason why I wouldn't get in that car. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean I wouldn't drive my own car and we wouldn't carpool there and be walking in together. So I'm
Right.
still gonna go. I don't agree with it. Just means I stay here and wait for an update. Absolutely not. But it just means I'm not getting in that car. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Same here. Amethyst, I'm going back to her comment.
Yes,
What is
ma'am.
the timeline for Marvon Sr.'s visit with Vaughn? So Marvon Sr.'s visit with Vaughn was June 18th is when Wynette says they left Georgia and they were there until they returned to Georgia
The
according to
28th, right?
the
Or 26th.
26th.
Yeah.
According to her statements, the 26th, it could be the 28th. We're just trying to give them a little leeway because Arvon was moved 26th or the 27th. I can't remember. He was moved the
Oh,
27th, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, on the 27th.
And that's when they found out that he was moved. So, and that was texted to them, my understanding from what they are saying in the text message by a nurse that Marvon had been moved. So my assumption is that they were definitely gone by then. They had left Arizona. So they were home between the 26th and the 28th of June. And Letitia's first unverified attempt would have been the 2nd of July through the 6th of July.
Yeah.
Those are the dates on that. But again, that was when she supposedly flew in her messages that she sent to the admins of the Justice for Vaughn group. And I want to answer that too. She sent her messages in there that showed she was there the second. No, it would have been this late night of the second into the third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Yeah. So third, fourth, fifth.
Yeah, I know for sure the dates lined up for 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
I don't know about the second or third.
I don't know if she was flying the second and the sixth. Like, there's some, you got to kind of read between some of her stuff because dates, she's also sent things after the fact.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to juggle all of the dates. But somebody
So
asked
we
how.
try to, well, I think what I know for me, when we get screenshots of things, we do try and like align
Yes.
them with specific dates. But sometimes screenshots don't have a date on them, so you kind of know this was a conversation in between. It started here on this day and then it ended here on this day, so you know it's a conversation in between those dates.
Right.
But lining it up with the exact isn't always possible. Sometimes you see a screenshot and it's like, this happened 16 hours ago. Okay, well, it could have been 16 hours from the date of the screenshot, 16 hours from right now, 16 hours from 3 weeks ago. Like, what is 16 hours? So that does make it a little bit more complicated. But I know for sure we have screenshots on the page. You have screenshots on the page, excuse me,
Yeah.
from the 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Yeah.
Those
I'm just
ones I
not
know
sure
for sure are there.
the date on when she left Georgia. Like I'm not exactly sure what the exact claim on that is, but we know that she returned to Georgia on the 6th is the claim. But
Yeah.
again, she sent um so this is how the screenshots are coming out. She sent messages to people that were working beside her kind of as her advocate, and or she was having conversations with these people, sending them screenshots of her messages with Dre and or other people. They had a group chat, the admins of the Facebook group with Letitia, and Letitia would provide like stuff that Molly was saying or other people, and that's how it all came out. And then the creator of the group started asking questions and asking for transparency a long time ago and kept getting ignored, and then it all just kind of came out. That's where they're coming from.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back up because I've seen another good question that somebody had, and we are missing a bunch of comments just going on and on. So Claudia said, "I'm not sure I understand why Letitia became such a central figure. She isn't his legal mother. They didn't have a great relationship. She hasn't seen much of Vaughn throughout his life. So again, in my opinion, because she was marketable to other women and other mothers on the internet." People were connecting with them in on an emotional level,
Yep.
and they couldn't see everything else that you're talking about, the legal aspects, the relationship aspects. Number one, the relationship and seeing much of him was not put out there at first. It was not out there for a lot of people to see until Dre did her video on June 28th. But the legal aspects, people weren't logically thinking of the legal aspects. One, because they didn't know. Two, because they didn't want to acknowledge that. But most of it was because it was emotionally marketable that this mother can't see her child. Who would do such a thing? In my
Yep.
opinion, of course. Let's see. Here's a
Oh, there was something I wanted to clarify too. When you asked me earlier about do I think that the original pages and everything like that, I should be really clear because I forget that YouTube, Facebook. I'm talking the pages on Facebook that originally started posting about this story are not monetized pages. I'm not talking about the
Mm,
YouTubers. That's a whole different ballgame. Like the original pages that started posting about this are not monetized pages. So no, they were not doing it to profit off of it. But the YouTube I don't know if anybody else besides a few of us are unmonetized. Most of them are monetized channels that have been covering this.
yeah. So Flava, I agree with your list, but I'm going to add to it. So Flava says we have not been able to confirm the RO, which is a very sore subject for nonsense, because she is determined to try and figure out where that rumor started, and we have not been able to figure that out just yet. We have some speculations, but nothing that we could. I don't think you can
Mhm.
speak more on it, but I don't think there's any. Sorry. Her putting something in his IV was another thing. That is also not confirmed. Or the feeding tube. Him being in a nursing home, also not confirmed. There is no confirmation of that. And then lastly, I would say her giving the kids kratom. That has not been confirmed. People watched videos where she had the herb bags out and the kids were tossing and washing. But again, she said in her video that was ginger root or whatever. You cannot see the label of that bag, and people assumed that because she did it, that means they did it and ran with it from there. But those are the four things I would say that are pretty vicious and large rumors that have not been able to be confirmed on one side or the other.
That is facts. Keith,
Francis wants to know, how are text messages being leaked?
that's what I was just explaining about the creator of the group coming forward and
Oh,
giving the text messages. Keith, Letitia wasn't I don't think she went on. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. She was in the comment section on Molly's live today. Yes. She was talking in the comments. Or supposedly that was her. I, anymore, I don't know who's running whose accounts. I assume it's her though. That's usually her on her YouTube account. Oh, so I do know that there's been multiple offers. I've seen them sent to Letitia for plane ticket round trip. I don't know why again. They have she dipped out. She must have gotten busy. Let me see what else here. Welsh, I agree. Let's see what else. Is there anything else you guys want to know? Yeah, there's so much going on, you guys. Oh, yeah. There's a bunch. Is she still ranting and raving? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to hear about that. Yeah, that's I there's been so many horror stories that have came to light through this and so many tragic stories. Like a lot of you have very personal connections and things to this, and it's just really tragic. And I'm really sorry a lot of you have experienced pretty horrific things. Kelly, I don't think there's a window there that she was supposedly there. I just don't know if she flew out the second or the third. I'm not sure. Again, it's just I think it's the third, but I'd have to look. Mocus Pocus, here's my thing with the caters. I wouldn't say that all of them are the same. I think that some of them probably have valid issues that they've had with people. I mean, I'm not going to invalidate everybody's experience, but what they're doing and saying in this is absolutely incorrect. Yes, 100%. When it comes to this, what they're saying is incorrect. And she took the bait. She took the bait how? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let me continue to go through. Did she backtrack? But that's the thing. They're saying this stuff, but then they're still supporting it. Like they're over there dragging Dre right now. And who is in the comments? They're going back and saying that she's this evil, horrible person, right? That's their narrative that they're painting. But who's sitting in the comments? And then they're saying she's never done anything to hurt Dre or said anything negative about Dre. Are you kidding me right now? Like, where do these people even I don't understand it. Yep, Letitia was in the chat. Sorry, you guys, I'm catching up. Yep. They have absolutely been a sideline chat or a sideline distraction. What did Norma say? If it says Norma, we need to talk about that. Who's that? Uh-oh. I'm assuming there's something missing. EKC read out KJ's. What? Oh, I felt like such an idiot. I didn't even know who the hell she was, and here she is in one of the posts I posted. I was so focused on the comment on the post, I didn't even realize it was her. I had no clue who she was. Doesn't matter to me though. I mean, I'm the same way with everybody, but crazy. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah, she did say that, Sarah. Molly said verbatim, the only thing Miss Letitia wants and ever asked for is prayers. Then please explain to us the post on Letitia's page on July 26th, 27th, July 4th. I mean, but this was previous to Molly. Molly cannot go back before Molly existed in this case doesn't exist. If you look at it from Molly's perspective, nothing happened in this story until Molly existed. Does anybody else agree with that? So there was a story. I wish Nunya was still here. But there was a story that supposedly the family had gotten upset with the great-grandmother, the adoptive mother of Marvon, for videos that Dre had posted between the adoptive mother, his great-grandmother, and him in the hospital. Like, she had posted a screen recording or a video of her talking to Marvon, and that upset the rest of the family, and she ended up taking it down. There was claims that there was some things said. One side says that was never done. I would never do that. And the other side says, yes, it was. They actually made things really hard for her. So again, no, Judy, you're not this freaking page. We've been talking about that. It's so ridiculous. Yesterday I was KJ. Yes. Yeah. If that was the goal, then why is it continuing? If that was the goal, then why the need for legal fees? If that was the goal, I just don't understand. I think they're afraid of the flood, what could happen, because there is still more people that believe this BS than actually are realizing that facts are being posted. Yeah, Wicked, I would have never gone up there had I known some of that stuff, but it is what it is. It's okay. I'm glad I didn't know because then I was just myself, but had I known that stuff before, I just I can't understand, and that's something that it's just weird for me. I can't understand that they can't get past this case. If they want to talk about it, go ahead and talk about all of the other stuff and what she did in the start of this case and everything like that, and focus on those things. That's totally fine. But to continue to blame this on her when it's been proven over and over again that it didn't start with her seems so ridiculous. But I can't figure out how these people think. It's been. Yes, she has, Lisa. Yeah. Who did she dox so far today? Do we know? They done that? Oh, and speaking of which, oh, do you need it again, Nanya? Sorry. What the other crazy situation that we talked about yesterday, if you guys were here for that, that's still ongoing. There's pages on Facebook that are including and posting all about that and everything you need to know. And yes, that is unfortunately a source that they're using for information, and their source is really wrong, but that'll go that way. Chatty Cathy, what we talked about in the beginning of this, just so you don't have to go back, is I posted screenshots on Facebook of when a reporter actually reached out, tried to publish a post in the group and said, I did an interview with Marvon Sr. Hold on, let me tell you exactly what it says. I'm not even going to, just so I'm not paraphrasing. Okay, it says, hey everyone, just an update from your local human news reporter. I just interviewed Marvon's father, Marvon Jackson Sr. The story should be premiering within the next couple weeks. I am trying to get as much accurate information as possible to be able to tell the true story of what Vaughn is going through. I would still love to do a Zoom with his mother as well, if anyone could put me in touch with her. Thanks again for being patient with me as I put this story together. So this reporter reaches out is what we're seeing. And then the next thing we know, we get the screenshots from the group message where the admin had said, hey, Letitia, somebody's trying to post this. In fact, it says, this was sent to us, but I didn't want to post it up publicly. I looked her up. She is legit. I wanted you to be aware of it in case you wanted to reach out to her. Then she sends the post that was tried to be posted in the group. Letitia says, yeah, most people say they are legit. And then it turns on me and my family. Tony says, definitely don't do it or reach out unless it's something you want to do. We just wanted you to be aware and didn't want to share it in the groups. Then the admin says, I understand she is from this news station. I just wanted you to be aware. And since like this is the news station she's in touch with, Letitia says, thank you all so much. And then there's another post of the creator talking to or sending a message to the reporter. But she declined media attention, and we had been hearing all of these pleas for anybody and everybody, and there was an interview done with Marvon Sr., but it was never posted, from my understanding, from that comment. Nani, is that you?
Ask me. Ask me.
Oh, did you change your profile picture, or did it just give you a different color?
Well, my phone died, and then I tried to log back in on my computer to YouTube, and it was like, we don't know you as none your business, and I can't remember my password. So then I had to create another none your business so that I could actually log in instead of under my personal profile. And so here we are.
Okay. I was like, wait, did I just add a fake Nanya to this? Because let me tell you,
Look at
that would be
right. No, it
interesting.
was me but that's why I don't have my thing on there. So look, so the other day I was watching a live. I don't even remember who it was, but I see everybody responding to happy's comment, but happy was in the comments, like just stating facts, and what you're saying doesn't make sense to the person on the live. And I mean, they were just triggered. Like, it was hilarious to see, like, happy. Why don't you just, you know what? Just get out of here. Go to hell. Like, I don't even know. Like, it was just something hilarious. But I was like, oh man, like, whoever it is was just trying to like point out, like, hey, well, what about this? Like, have you asked about that before? Like, just little sly comments that, like, me, I'm like, yeah, ask those questions, and I was watching a replay anyways, but it made me laugh though. And their name, I see everybody like, happy, just go away. Yeah, it's fine. If Molly believes she knows who nonsense is, what does, we did discuss it earlier, but what does it make a difference? So you know who this person is, but she's not connected to the family. She has no intention other than sharing truth and facts. It doesn't change that. But anyways, but yeah,
That's beautiful.
the
No,
weeds, that's definitely not me.
somebody else said that earlier too. Happy that she was going to dox me and she knows everything about me and all this stuff. And I was like, okay, I don't know where they're going to get with that. Yay. I don't know what to be excited for him. Like, it's not going to change anything.
Right. Right.
I just don't know exactly happy. Like, no, not at all. Like, it's just funny because I'm like, I don't know what they want me to do. Like, do they want me to get scared? What they expect is me to get scared and shut up. But well, fuck it. That's not happening.
So Pirate Girl, you may have already addressed it. I'm kind of going back in the comments. Wasn't it said on a live, both of these statements, the money is still all there? And then they also said the account is in the negative.
Yes.
Have they said both of those things?
Yeah. They have been 2 different times. So they stated on a live, and I'll have to go back and date check myself because I do not have it right on me, but it is in videos with the correct dates, with all of the links. She did say on a live that the money was all still there. Like that the money, her and Molly were going back and forth. And Molly says, you just told me last week that the money was all still in GoFundMe. And she was like, yep. And Molly continues on. And again, this is paraphrasing, but she alludes to the fact that, see, like the money's all there. So why would she not be refunding people kind of thing? Like, it's not like she's blowing this money. It's all still sitting there, that kind of thing. Do you remember that?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then what was the second part?
Smile said she wanted to know if you had heard both of those statements, and yes. At first, Molly said she was going to call the media, but it was a weekend and she would have to wait till Monday. Is the news closed on the weekends?
Does breaking news only happen Monday through Friday, 8 to
I
5?
guess breaking news only happens Monday through Friday, Smiles. I don't, maybe that's how the news happens in Pennsylvania. It's not how it happens where I am, but I couldn't speak to how the news works on the weekends over there.
Yeah. Yeah, that I can't wait because I said I was going to Arizona. I can't wait for them to try and twist it and be like, "See, nonsense is going down there to harass." I'm not even going anywhere in that vicinity, but I can't wait because they're just nuts.
So Mickey, I'm curious. So Mickey says, "I feel sorry for Wynette." I'm just scrolling through the comments, so I have a ways to catch up with what everybody was saying. But she said, "I feel sorry for Wynette." Did you guys talk about something about Wynette? No.
No, I think we were just talking about like how Letitia and her obviously have issues, and she said Letitia said quite a few things and screenshots and stuff that we've seen about when, and I feel bad for Wynette too, but then I go back and forth with it. So
Yeah. Sarah G says, Mickey, I go back and forth with the Wynette. Makes no sense why she waited a month to reach out to Dre and did so on MGL's live. Now, I know that I differ from a lot of people. However, I will say I also go back and forth with her. I also I feel like with the passing of her mother, that there is a lot that she is missing. So for her, she doesn't understand what, again, if I only told you my side of a story and you weren't a logical thinker, let's just say, you're going to be like, wow, why are those people coming after, Nunya like that? That's crazy. What kind of crazy people would do that? But that's because you've only heard one side of the story and it's my version only. So that may be the possibility. Again, I know we're all kind of on the fence because there's some questionable things, but I do like the fact that she's not willing to others are willing to get on the phone with others and just bash. But
yeah, yeah. Chatty, so what is the point of the news reporter reaching out? I'm confused as to the story they are trying to put out, Letitia's narrative of things. So I think this was back in July. Well, I know it was back in July, around the 25th of July, 25th, 26th-ish again. I don't know exactly when the reporter had attempted to reach out and or Marvon Sr. was interviewed. I do not know dates on that as of right now. What I do know is that um, either they were not able to make contact, she fully declined, or they just haven't aired it yet. I don't know the full intention of what the interview was going to be. It doesn't state in that. Um, but I'm assuming because of all of the things that are going on, that's why it never aired. Because you would think that there would have to be like a crime or something, there has to be a reason for a story. I mean, now there would be a reason, like, look what social media has turned this complete shit show into. Human interest piece.
Warrior Grandma said, if Molly is breathing, she's lying. Not her first rodeo making money off innocent, vulnerable victims.
Hey,
In your
maybe.
opinion, but that's funny. Real justice is free with truth
Mhm.
says, I think Wynette and Senior were honest. And Desiree or Desire says, but Wynette is still accepting gifts from MGL.
Yeah.
Maybe she realizes they have no legal rights over him based upon the receipts about Lynette. Yes. What makes me so mad is the people who refuse to see that Letitia was offered a ride to go see Vaughn when the dad and Lynette went and she refused. So we did talk about that a little bit earlier. Lynn, I know you came in a little bit later, but we did talk about that. And we did say, just on a human level, there are people who I would not want to get in a car and ride 2,000 miles with. So I can understand that. However, it doesn't mean I wouldn't have gotten into my own car and we wouldn't have carpooled there.
Desiree,
I
I
need distance.
I'm sorry, I butchered your name. I said it right the first time. Then I was like, wait, there's all sorts of things on that. And then I screwed it up. It's Desiree. Sorry. I've led you to the wrong name too, I'm sure.
Hey, Navy. Somebody
wait,
told me, so
hold on.
Navy and I ended up on a live last week, right? At the same time. And somebody sent me a message and said, OMG, you were on live with Navy? And I said, well, yeah, I mean, we were just both on a panel, like not together, but like we were just both on a panel. They're like, oh, what I would give to be on a panel with Navy. And I was like, what in the world is happening right now? It was
Oh
funny
my
to me.
gosh.
Anywho.
Wait, they're promoting they dropped the GoFundMe today. They're really collecting still today. There's no way. Are they really? Please tell me somebody that's wrong that they're not collecting today.
I mean, why would, I'm not trying to be funny, but why would they not? I mean, not that they shouldn't, but I'm just saying, like, is that something you would really put past them? Because that's not something I would put past them.
Oh, as active as denial as she's trying to be, no, nothing shocks me at this point in time. But do they understand that this is just continuing to put Letitia in a bad spot? Like this, that's who they're hurting in the end of it. Like they continue to say, oh, they gave him the cash up. No, somebody asked for, okay, that makes sense. Well, yeah, they're still, yeah. Frick. Who wants the screenshot of it? No, I believe you guys 100%. And offers for airfare again, and they're being ignored again. I don't understand. That goes back to your question at the beginning of this.
You can send it to Nonsense Real Justice.
Why
Send it
are
to the
you
Facebook page.
why do you feel like she hasn't returned to go see him?
Me personally,
Yep.
I personally do not believe that there were any lawyers involved in the agreement. I believe that it was a one on. I believe there may have been somebody in the middle, doing the conversation between them. But I believe that the agreement was not, it didn't have anything to do with lawyers. I believe that it was just, it wasn't them talking to each other either, but maybe a social worker from the hospital or, I don't know, somebody from the church or anybody, anybody outside of this that didn't have the emotional connection to it. But I do believe that there was just an agreement made amongst them, and I believe that it was to be able to do visitation if she actually would have backed away. I believe them not backing away from it, them continuing to encourage the conversations and encourage the overall harassment of everyone. I think that that is what ended up making them lose their ability to go and see him. And so um, I think that they're like the Imagine post. I believe, just in my own observations and in my own opinion, I believe that all of this, even the live today, there is there is a certain level of sensationalism to it, and it is made on purpose to. Um, please tell me you recorded that call.
I was
Lord,
just gonna say,
please
like,
tell me you did.
please tell me we got a statement from her finally. I was gonna
Oh
reach out to
man,
her in
that would
an
be
email
amazing.
and get a
Anyway,
statement.
sorry, the distraction, but I don't believe, I believe these types of the lives today, the posts lately, that Imagine post, it is to try and, it's like antagonize. There you go. It's antagonizing somebody. So it's kind of like, when kids are on a playground and they're just picking at somebody or calling them names and things like that. It's to get a rise out of them. And I think that it utterly pisses them the fuck off that since July, what was it, the 5th, I believe was the date. That was the date of her last port, July 5th or 6th. I'm not sure which one of those. But since that date, she has not responded to them. She has not posted about them. She doesn't give a hoot. She doesn't watch their live. Like none of it at all gets seen by her, and I think that is such a trigger for them because like it's crazy to me that like here we are, at least 2.5 months later, and you're like, Dre, I'm talking to you. No, you're not. You're not talking to Dre. You know why? Because Dre's not watching. You know who is watching? These other 1,000, 2,000 people that has absolutely nothing to do with it. So that's my thoughts on it. I'll be right back.
Okay. Let me go through some of these questions right quick. Sorry guys. We're gonna go back up for a minute. Let her come back in. MGL said a few days ago that LB was in contact with Savannah PD. That's again, you're just supposed to take her word on it. Okay. But she said that Letitia today, she also said that Letitia would be fine. She was protected, blah, blah, blah. They will not allow it. But that goes back to, again, Molly's statements, Molly's words. They have a legal agreement. A court order is what she calls it. A court order that you can publicly find. Doesn't exist, but why does LB get so mad over Marissa? Exactly. Same situation, right? I don't know the history. There could have been a history. I think there's a lot of regret probably and emotions involved in all of that. There's a lot. Yes, she's had so many opportunities to go. One who was doxxed. Oh, Flava. If she would give a statement in an email, that would be amazing that we could share so people can quit calling her office. That's the problem is because people are calling and calling and calling, I'm sure, because people, I mean, there's trolls involved and everything else, but yeah. Thank you. Real justice is free with truth. Chatty Cathy, same. Was SD, that is the supposed attorney that she used. That's the initials of the attorney. If you want to see more, there's the posts are on Facebook and stuff. I just don't want to say her name on here because right now she is nothing in this case except a name that they've been throwing out. Ray is taking care of her family. Yep. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get through them. Yes, more reports have been filed. I do know that also. David, that would be awesome if you would, I mean, either way, if she would agree to a recorded conversation or even just an email saying like, I do not represent her. Please stop involving me in this. And then we can post that and at least we've done something. I don't know if she can. I don't know how that all works. I don't know the legalities of all of that. But if there was no contract between the two of them, I don't know. I would think that something could be done, right? I don't know how that works. Yeah, that's okay. So that's the purpose of this live. If you are just popping in, there's 145 of you here. That's crazy to me. But if you're just popping in, what we were discussing is the denial or the declined media thing. If you need to see those screenshots, they're on Facebook and on YouTube in places. But I guess we also clarified that Judy is not me. On it, 10-4. Flava, only if you have time. Don't feel like it. I can also do it. I can do it. Do you think it seems like she's doubling and tripling down? What are your guys' opinions? Tell me in the comments what you guys think, how this is going to go. Who's spinning where? I'm going to post that too. I got it out. Actually, it's coming up tonight. You can keep it and put your comments on later if you want. But Judy is a super kind, sweet follower. She's just a typical everybody else. No big deal. She donated kindly out of her heart. Things went awry. She got drug into all of this because she was one of the first ones with verified refund requests. So Molly doxed her, drug her on live. Well, I guess I wouldn't call what Molly did to her doxing her fully the first time around because she was just using names and screenshots, but then they did a lot more. But Molly keeps bringing her up over and over again, alluding to the fact that she runs nonsense today. Yesterday I was KJ. Today I'm Judy. Tomorrow I'll be Raymond. I don't know. It's just another distraction. And Judy is the kindest, sweetest person. Navy, if you want to come up, you can come up too. I'm just sitting here chatting. I don't know if Nunyan's going to pop back in or not. This was, again, just to basically get some information out that's just... She was running her mouth so bad this morning, and I tell you what, it took everything for me to just woo-saw. Oh, you're good. You're good. Anytime. Anybody can come up. I dropped the link. Anybody can come up. I don't care. Well, not anybody. I'll block some people, but S smiles. I've been called KJ nonsense and even Michelle. Okay. Thank you, Flava. Francis, I am nonsense. But that's the thing. We've been talking about that so extensively. What exactly does it change? What does it change when they learn who I am? What does that change about the facts? Okay, I don't have a criminal record, so they're going to try to twist it that way. That doesn't work. So then the next one would be, I mean, they're trying to figure out some motive to connect me, right? That's why I have to have some sort of motive. I don't know. It's just ridiculous. She's way over the top screaming. She did do some scream stuff today. I actually got a lot of laughs out of that. Thank you, Real Justice. It changes nothing, right? It changes nothing. Keith. But Mochus, I don't have any. That's the problem is I'm not lying about that. I don't have any. If I had some, and I'm not shunning anybody that does, I don't give a shit. I don't care about their past at all. That's never been something that nonsense has ever even focused on. The only reason why I even had to discuss Marvon Seniors is because it was being brought up and people were so hell-bent on saying that that was a lie when that started with Letitia also. Letitia was the one that told everybody of Marvon Senior's situation because she was upset with Marvon Senior and Wynette. We have those text messages. It shows that she was upset and she was who was using the term incarcerated. It's just absolutely crazy. Lynn, that's what I've heard. Supposedly they've paid people for things. They've all sorts of things. They can do all of that. Call me. Call my spouse. Is that my employer or my kid's my employer? Which one is my employer today? Which child is running the show today? They can talk to all of them. My kids will talk their ear off and tell them about themselves. No, they wouldn't, and I would never let them. My kids can have more intelligent conversations than these people. Let's be honest. Yeah, they've actually claimed that about their detective groups. LG, I feel the same way. And here's the thing. I don't care if it does happen, you guys. And I honestly am saying that. The reason I'm not doing it is just because I'm not giving them that satisfaction. And or they have been saying a lot of things and trying to associate me in places that are not. So the longer they continue the nonsense, the more content I have. Let's put it that way. And I'm not talking about Molly or this story. I'm talking about them in future because a lot of them are digging and digging and digging. Oh, it is 100% crossing the lines, but that's what they do to everybody. And they've done it to everybody. Like a lot of these ladies have already been doxxed. Hey, Nanya.
Hey, what you guys talking about?
We were talking about my identity again, not changing anything.
Oh.
That they are hell-bent on finding my information, and a lot of people feel that if they had it like she's claiming that they have, that she would have already posted it, and like I said, I don't care. You know that, it is what it is at this point in time. It's gonna come out. Everybody's stuff comes out sooner or later.
Can I just say, I love that some of the people that I have met in the comments are so witty. The names that they come out for people, like I fell out when the jaundice name came out. Now I see somebody calling her Tamale.
You have not met
I have not
some
seen
of
that
the
before, but my goodness, these people are hilarious with some of the names they come up with sometimes.
Did you see him in the live yesterday? Were you paying attention to any of the names in there?
No, probably
The
not. I don't
the
remember.
dirty and all, oh
Yesterday
my
is
gosh,
gone out of my brain. We're on to today.
I was dying laughing. That's why it's sometimes I start laughing and I have to mute myself because I don't want people to think I'm laughing at an inappropriate time, but somebody will pop in and say a comment and you read their name first and you're like, and then you realize the comment is something serious and you're like, oh God, I was just an asshole. Ugh. Some of you guys and your funny names. Okay, what else did you guys want to know? And then we will. Wait, what did that say?
Somebody had asked earlier, I don't know if you answered it, but somebody had asked earlier why the grandparent or the grandmother, excuse me,
Oh
why
yeah,
we
yeah, yeah.
thought that the grandmother, did you already talk about that? My phone had died. So,
We talked about it briefly, but I wanted your opinion on that. If you want to go back and answer that on your opinion, I said what had happened to what we know, like that there was a video that Dre had posted with the great grandmother talking to Marvon at the hospital, and that caused obvious contention and things were said on both sides, but it's never been confirmed. If you want to explain your side of that, yes, please.
yeah, so I definitely, I mean, it's been very well documented that the grandmother does have dementia. And whether it's early stages or late stages, I'm not sure. I do know that she lives in an assisted living place from what I've, again, what has been documented or said on live. Um, I do not believe that the family has that great of a relationship with her. And so I think that everybody, attempting to get information from them is going to be pretty hard when you haven't you don't have a relationship with them. And so that would kind of be my um that'd be my 2 cents. I don't think that the family is as tight knit as they tend to want to seem. I think that there's a lot of um signs out there that show, like nobody on the family posting about Vaughn except for two people. That speaks volumes about, a family being concerned. So I think it may be a little bit more like, I don't know, maybe, I'm the black sheep of my family. And so maybe if it was me going through that and I was making these choices, maybe other people wouldn't be posting because they don't agree with my choices. Or maybe we just don't have that great of a relationship. And that's why, I don't know. But um, definitely, that's my 2 cents on it. I don't think. I seen in a live a couple of weeks ago. Somebody was like, "Well, she said she was going to bring her out. Why hasn't she?" Well, they also said that there are some health concerns for travel, and 2,000 miles is a lot for a person to travel. I don't think you would want to purposely put them in harm's way. Um, you know, to be able to travel unless they were willing to take on that harm for themselves.
Well, and
So
let's just be honest. She is an elderly woman with some pre-existing health conditions on her own, and then you have a man who is having issues with infection protocol. There was protocol in place at the beginning also because of infections and the high risk and need for safety. So you're putting two vulnerable people in a position with traveling that far anyways and then being in a hospital. Like that's a lot.
yeah,
That's a
yeah,
lot to expect of anybody, and I'm sure it's heartbreaking for all of them. I mean, this is the woman who did raise him and obviously loves him dearly. I'm not saying that Letitia doesn't. I'm just saying that I'm sure it's heartbreaking for her too. No matter what stage dementia she's in, this is a family issue.
Right. What we do know is that she wants to be with her baby. That is something we do know for sure. Yes, Miles, you're correct. Um, I did know the actual tamale story. Thank you, RL. I did know it. I just had not seen somebody call her that name. But that is it's definitely interesting. Did Marvin, when he said about his mom in those
Yes.
videos, was he talking about his grandmother or Letitia? Didn't he call her mom too? So he definitely referred to both of them as that. But there are some videos where it just depends on what you've seen. But there are some videos where he is speaking about his biological mother, and there are other videos where there are actually videos that have been put out recently by the missing pieces, where he is talking to his grandmother, his great grandmother, and they're having a conversation, and you just hear like the love and the kindness in their conversation. It really is a beautiful thing. So I can only imagine what she also is going through. And even, I've had family members who have struggled with Alzheimer's and dementia. And so if every day, what if, I don't know her status, not my business, but what if every day she has to wake up to the same realization that, he is in this condition? That has to be heartbreaking every day to go through that over and over. So that would be really hard too. But yeah.
And it might be, and I hate to say it this way too, but it might be a blessing in disguise if she doesn't have to remember that every day too. Like,
Yeah.
I know that it's hard on both ends, but to have to relive something like that over and over and over again, it's starting fresh every day, is a spiral that I wouldn't wish on anybody.
Yeah, me
But
neither. Just
oh,
saying, Julie, I did see the post really quickly. I did see the post, but that is actually, if you look at, I want to say it's maybe LB did a live yesterday or the day before talking about that case. So I believe that they have gotten LB to make contact with the family, not Molly at first. And then I believe Molly, Justin, and her are going to be going over it. That's my understanding. Could totally be wrong. But that was what my eyeballs read and told me. So take it
Lisa,
for what it's worth.
Lisa, that's so true. My identity doesn't mean anything to anybody but me. That's it. Like, really, it doesn't change this.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that the hope is, though, is that they'll be able to uncover all of this illegal activity or, something to shame me to stop talking. I think that's the goal. That's the only goal I can see. That would
I know you
be
said you were going to do it the other day, but I think two of the lives that may be helpful for people, and people in the comments can definitely give their opinion. But I think a live where we go through the exact timeline and dates and
Yep.
make it make sense. And then another one where we debunk the lies or misinformation that has been put out there. I think maybe those two would be really good.
Go back to the debunk. Okay. So the timeline, I think we need to handle for sure. We've talked about that. Um, the debunking, we can absolutely do that because there's new videos with more claims and statements too.
Hmm.
So we don't really necessarily have to go rehash old stuff either because it's still continuing, which is great. If you do want something and you're just learning about a lot of this, there is a 2-hour video on my page already that debunks most of what we have gotten to this point of what we have available. Now, there is pieces that we don't have connections for. There's a lot still up in the air, but
Hmm.
the things that we are solid on are all in that 2-hour video, I think, pretty much. There might be some missing facts because things have, of course, evolved since that point. Like the police report. That is 100% a legit police report. There has been FOIAs by third-party independent people sent in to try and debunk that it's not a legit police report. They were sent the exact same thing, other creators. There's still some people saying that, well, anybody can file a police report. We know that anybody can file a police report. We are all waiting to see where this goes, and as time tells, that's where it will go. Anything on that they want us to talk about? Flava, is there anything you want us? I don't know if you're still here.
I don't think she's here anymore. Kelly Ford is killing me with the names. I cannot. Let me tell you, I wanted to read Mocus's comment. He said, they'll go after anything, your nose, your kid, your job, your friends.
Honey.
That sounds like the trailers before the movies where it's like in a dark, dark time, long ago, they found your nose.
Yeah. My nose is big. I'll tell you guys my faults. Like, come on now. My nose might be a little big and crooked. I actually am waiting sinus surgery because I have an infection in my sinuses that I've been dealing with for months. So my nose is a little crooked even on the outside, but that's about it. My eyes might be a little crossed at times, especially if I'm listening to them, or rolled back in the back of my head. I waddle when I walk because I got big thighs that rub together. No, I don't freaking know. But like, you pick on me about my looks. They're not growing old with me. They don't fall asleep with me.
The Facebook name Karen is Nonsense on the Web 2.0. It's the same as this page. And ultimately, again, I mean, to me, you have to deflect onto somebody's looks or talk about their looks when you're not speaking the truth. Because when you're speaking the truth and you have facts and you have receipts and you can back it up, then that's what you can stay focused on. When you don't, I think yesterday, again, on Rabbit's panel with EKC, when I started to ask, like, well, have you seen this or have you seen that? And I realized fairly quickly that, she may have not been as informed as she thought she was. But I think that I think that a part of that is the reason why, if you just trust that somebody is telling you the truth and you run with it, then that's going to make a difference. Molly fist fight me up. True, Roseanne. That's my...
Oh, shit. See, you guys take me out with these comments, and she's being serious, and I'm over here busted up. This is why streaming sucks, because Tamale. Scorpio sting. Oh, brother, you guys are cracking me up. But that's the thing. You guys want to know something serious? I told
Someone said to Molly, you have more balls than most men I know. Oh my God. Y'all are messy.
You want to know why I haven't crapped on Molly's looks? First and foremost, I just don't do that usually. But secondly, my little one the other day told me that Molly looks like my mother.
Oh, God.
And that's why I'm not cracking on her, because I keep hearing this little voice in the back of my head that, wait, I look like
Don't
that?
talk about grandma.
Wait, she's not even old enough to be my mom, is she? She would only be like 13. I don't know how old she is, but I was sitting there like, no, she would only be like 7 years older than me, maybe. I don't know how old she is, to be honest. Yeah. But I was like, kids, this is why I need duct tape at all times.
Don't say that, because then they're gonna take a screenshot and be like, listen to her. What type of parent wants duct tape for their child? Somebody, everybody, the whole world. You call CPS. You call CPS. We're all calling CPS.
Oh, good luck.
Oh, God.
Go there. I dare. But I want a Velcro wall.
You want I want a Velcro wall to throw myself on.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, duct tape isn't necessary for them. There's a lot of things that can do, but I want a Velcro wall and a Velcro suit to put myself in timeout. Like, when I've had enough of everybody, just go throw myself against the wall and I can't get myself down until I eventually fall down. That would be perfect. Where'd your mom go? She's stuck to the wall again. Molly, go fund herself.
I cannot. So Julie, I don't think I don't think I don't think I get necessarily pissed off by him. I actually get
No.
more like frustrated with the I get more frustrated with the my husband said. Well, who the hell is he? Like, the amount of legal, financial, and moral advice he gives, like he is more of a life coach than her. So that's a little bit confusing to me. But yeah, that's the only reason yesterday I want to shop again.
Nonsense stuck on the wall. I always say everybody's throwing shit at the wall. I guess maybe I'll just throw myself at the wall.
Right. I mean, you probably would have more success at sticking to the wall than some of their stuff.
Maybe we should start
Velcro fun. There you go, Keith.
right. Yeah.
Hashtag get
Velcro wall.
nonsense and Velcro. Yes, Kelly.
You've got to find things to laugh about though, because the story is I want to say something on the Walter aspect.
Oh
I
goodness.
think he's very misinformed.
I think so too. 100%.
I think he definitely is told what she wants him to hear. That's why I said I would love to have a conversation with him and show him all of this other side, because I don't think, if he's a rational man like she claims he is. Now, this is her claims, not mine. I don't know him, don't know his behavior, but anybody that sees all of this stuff would say, Molly, slow down. Or I would think, if that's his wife, would say, maybe you should just kind of look and see and ask some questions even. Right?
Yeah.
I would think so.
I
But
would. I mean, if it was my husband, I'd be like, wait, what are you talking about? What is happening right now? Why would these people be doing this? This doesn't make any sense at all. Let me watch it for myself.
Right.
Because
Sarah.
Yeah.
Again, or was this old? Because they've done that.
I think it's the old
times.
one with Jesse.
Yeah.
Before you sent him the video.
They've tried to mess with that too.
Scorpio, we're okay, that I know of. We're okay with everyone, and whatever flag somebody flies is their business. So I don't have an opinion on that one way or the other.
I don't know. Haven't watched him enough, or he hasn't been on enough when I have watched for me to have any. I really don't know about him.
I actually think that the house is in only one person's name. If I believed that my spouse was a liability at all times, I would do the same. So I'm not mad at him. I get, because again, if somebody sues her, what are they going to take? The Range Rover? I mean, those hoodies? I don't want that. But
at the end of the day, though, what does that matter? Like, and not. I know that's been a discussion that's been ongoing, so I get why they're talking about it. I'm not mad at anybody for talking about it whatsoever, because it's been something they've brought up and stuff that they've been discussing. But at the end of the day, what does that have to do with anything?
Right. Exactly.
I don't give a shit what she owns. I don't give a shit what she looks like. I don't give a shit what she wears. I don't give a shit about the toilet paper she uses. I don't care about not a single thing in her personal life. I could care less. What I care about is what she's doing to victims' families and negligently continuing to throw out here, and people are running with it. It's dangerous, it's intentional, and it's not okay.
Julie,
but
no, I didn't. But if you have the screen record of that, I would love some afternoon entertainment today. So, you can just, hit my inbox on Facebook. It's Joanne None Your Business. Send me that screen record, because I would be happy to watch it and be entertained. So
which one is that?
She says it's one where he's talking to the subs and just calling them all MFers. So I'm more than happy to watch that video for sure.
Who? Stephanie, me? Am I I'm cross-eyed after trying to figure all this out.
Is she cross-eyed? Shit. Are we all cross-eyed at this point? The dates and the names and the everybody. If anybody was in that live yesterday, all the names we got on this whiteboard today, I mean, still trying to figure
Here's
them all out. So did I hear they are still accepting money for the GoFundMe, or I thought I heard something like that. Somebody had mentioned it. I can't confirm it because I haven't watched any lives yet today, just bits and pieces. But so unconfirmed Navy, rumored, yes. I don't know why she needs everyone to think she hasn't eaten, but is low-key shoveling.
I saw a screenshot of it. They were asking for the GoFundMe link for somebody was asking for that, and somebody else sent the Cash App link in the comment section of her video. I have seen that screenshot now.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if there was donations sent. I didn't see any follow-up on that, but somebody
Oh, well,
asked
we
for
can
the
check that
GoFundMe
right
link.
now. I can check it online because the GoFundMe is public. So
GoFundMe was asked for, but Cash App was provided, so I don't know what will be done
oh,
there,
well,
but
you know,
yeah. Yep.
yeah, it didn't go to GoFundMe. So
Cash App is still up. Yeah. I mean, logically, I'm asking these questions like what's the point? But it's right. Like, why not? Why not? They feel they've got enough people still believing this, right?
they definitely do.
do.
Stephanie said no. She was asking if Molly is cross-eyed. I don't know. I'm not a fan of when she talks about other people's appearances, so I just prefer to stay away from that part. For me, I think it's funny some of the stuff that you guys are saying, but you know, I can laugh on a comedic sense, but I just won't partake in it personally.
I won't go there with her because there's no need. I can go surface. Like, I don't need to go there. There's so much right here that there's no need to have to go there. And plus, at the end of the day, like, I've never had Botox. I've never had anything, and I'm not shaming anybody that has at all. I've had a few things here and there done, but some people are really insecure with themselves. And it seems like that's a lot of times they go on the attack at other women because of those insecurities. And I don't want to, even though I don't like her and I don't like her behavior whatsoever. I don't like her behavior. I don't know her to really judge her fully. But what I've seen, I do not like and I do not appreciate at all. As far as her looks, everything like that, I think she's very insecure, and I think that she goes on the defense and attacks other women's looks because she herself has struggled with insecurities her entire life. That's my personal opinion on that. Again, I just feel like that's pretty evident with some of her behaviors and things like that. Yeah, it's not because, you know, even if the person is the most beautiful person, in her opinion, if they have said something that she doesn't agree with or she doesn't like, instead of communicating that in an adult fashion, she goes for their looks. Usually, that's what I've seen.
These people are hilarious. Look at Julie's comment. Excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, they're entitled to feel that way because her behavior, and you know, that's not saying she looks like that. That's just her behavior, you know, that basically when she opens her mouth, she goes, but there's that. I just moved like a cow.
I've seen the Cash App.
Oh,
all right.
These guys are. That's the bad thing, though, is like you can talk about her behavior all day long. You can talk about when she opens her mouth, nothing that comes out is shit. Like, we know those things as fact. We don't have to, you know, we've watched them knock other people for things that I would just never personally knock somebody for, ever. Molly's going to make me pay. Who said that? Where'd that go? Oh, Julie. That's Julie. Molly, go 50. Dang. You guys and these names. She don't care how she talks about others
Oh,
yet.
Norma. Yeah, I mean, just because, well, I don't know. I'm not a two wrongs make a right kind of person, but that's okay. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'll just be
No, and
sitting here laughing at some.
that's totally there. I get those feelings, but at the same time, that's not making us any better than her, if that makes sense.
Molly sounds like the adult on Charlie Brown. Wah, 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 wah.
Francis, I have been very hesitant to mention that on this channel a lot. I absolutely think what was done there was horrible. I
Yeah.
think that's a very sensitive situation and a situation that I just don't want to entertain online because at the end of the day, I see a person that whether she's a beautiful person, she's sweet, she seems kind and caring. I think a lot of people are using her as entertainment right now and a way to like kind of distract from Molly's BS. And I just don't see that turning out well. I see that her getting hurt more in the end of it than it is good. And that is just my opinion on it, but it's just a situation that doesn't sit right with me. And it's nothing against Michelle. Like, I have nothing but love for Michelle. I just do not feel that that's the right thing to do. I don't think it's going to end up helping the situation for her own sake in the end, if that makes any sense. Is that fair to say, Joe?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still watching their comments. I was actually reading, so I don't know if you know already. I opened up the GoFundMe.
Yeah.
And so the GoFundMe, somebody donated. Did you already see the person donated $5 and put in all capital letters? So they put, "This is a scam. She is collecting money and no lawyer and has made no effort to see her son with all this money. And she knows where he is. A scammer, scammer." I was like,
Yeah.
oh, goodness. And it is in all caps. So you can't miss it when you scroll down. That's funny.
Would you bring somebody up on your panel if you talked bad about them all the time over and over?
Absolutely.
Um,
Well, to an extent. Because, I mean, we put out some pretty funny videos about Goose, and I would love to have her on a panel. I would love to ask her if she actually legit knows anything that she talks about or if she just trusts everybody word.
I think, yeah, I know what they're asking with. I think Michelle has just been used as a tool of entertainment, and I don't appreciate it at all. I actually find it really disgusting, and I feel like anybody that is encouraging that behavior from her is putting her in the line of fire that is unnecessary for her well-being. If people actually gave a fuck about her or her well-being, they would not be encouraging that behavior, in my opinion. I don't know her. I don't know her history. I just know what I've seen. And I feel like she needs love and support and kindness and caring people that actually give a fuck about her instead of more fake bullshit. And I've seen some of the people that have been trying to align themselves with her. And let me tell you, some of those names come from the CMC bullshit. And I watched how they tried to maneuver around that world. And I know that this is going to end in disaster because there's people that are taking everything that Michelle is saying. I guarantee it, screenshotting it and sending it to Molly. So Michelle is confiding in people. And once again, Michelle, if you're listening and you want to come to my inbox, I can show you exactly who I'm talking about, what they were associated with and everything. But it's just messy, and I worry about her.
Norma, can you help clarify your statement for us? Because I want to understand.
Well, so I feel the same way. I feel like people are laughing at her instead of with her, and that doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I think Michelle is a beautiful woman. And I'm sorry, I went through a divorce, but why is that the internet people's business? Because Molly doesn't like her to dig through her divorce. I mean, maybe maybe she brought this here. I don't know the background. I don't know the backstory. So these are my opinions and my thoughts, but I would anybody that's had a divorce, good, bad, indifferent, want everybody on the internet to be picking through my divorce? I mean, that's going to happen to me and that'll be fun, but go for it. It is what it is. I don't know. And if you disagree with me, or Michelle, if you're here and you want to come up, I don't care if you want to talk about like, your side of that. I will give you the space to do that. I just want you to know that from my perspective, I don't like that stuff that they're doing. I think you could be entertaining and funny as hell if you did something on your own without them at all. But I just worry about that part of it. So twin thing, and I'm hopeful. Like I don't know her well enough, so I just have to listen to you guys, and it'll be what it is. I'm not out here to police the internet.
Flavor, can I have that screenshot when you get a
What?
chance?
Which one? Oh,
so Flava and Norma are saying that Hope told them not to trust you. However, and they say they have screenshots. So I was asking for the screenshot because I have not seen Hope do those things in your lives or in comments or anything like that. But I I'm a true believer in show the screenshots or don't make the accusations kind of a thing. But I don't know what's happening.
At the end of the day, and nothing against anybody. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who said what. I don't care. Honestly, you guys, I'm not here for you guys to like me. And that's not trying to be mean. Like I'm not trying to gain your trust. Nonsense isn't trying to gain your trust. And that's not me being dismissive or that I'm above you guys or anything. I'm trying to provide you proof and facts. What you make out of those facts and those details is your conclusion and your opinion. I am not trying to push my theories, my opinions on anybody. So at the end of the day, even if Hope said not to trust me, that's okay. That's okay. Trust the facts. I've been saying that all along. I don't need you to trust me. I need you to talk or to trust the facts. So if anybody is meeting me with, reverse, in fact, I've seen other comments in here that were flip-floppers previously. People that have said things on my Facebook comments that have now kind of came to light. Everybody's got a different process in this. And if I'm like out here gonna fight with everybody that's talking shit about nonsense, let's be honest, it's a lot and I just don't have time for it. But
yeah, so Norma, that's a little bit different of a context, but ultimately your first statement didn't really come across like your current statement is. But I agree with nonsense. I mean, everybody is entitled to their opinion. They don't have to like her. They don't have to listen to her. Just look at the facts. That's
what though?
That's what it boils down to.
As far as her saying she wasn't going on Michelle's live too, and then her going on Michelle's live and getting a wrench, there could be a situation too that she maybe felt like she could do something to help in a situation. So I think maybe this is where communication gets really lost and people get stuck in small things and stuff like that. Hope is not who I was talking about as far as I don't think she is. It might be an alt, but I don't think that's who I was referring to as far as being involved in the CMC stuff. That's not a name I'm familiar with. But so if anybody was taking my comment that way, that's not who I was discussing. I did think you were KJ. I thought KJ was trying to get people to see past her age, see the truth. Yeah, and that's okay. Like I understand why people are confused, and there's probably similarities that people could pick up on there too, that absolutely is back and forth. Yeah, Hope, you're fine. And Norma, you're fine too. Like I understand Norma, I don't blame her. But that's the thing people are missing. I'm not asking you to trust me. You guys have been asked to trust creators for so long. Right?
Yeah.
People
100%.
To trust them, to believe them. You guys going out here and saying, I don't trust that person. That's great because that means that you're going to search for the facts. If you're really intrigued, that means that you're not going to take my word for it. You're actually going to go research and find the facts yourself. That's not a bad thing, in my opinion. And at the end of the day, I'm sorry also, but why would you guys trust me? I am a blank screen to 99% of you. Right? Like that's got to be earned over time. And I don't even know. I think people follow and trust these influencers or people on social media. I'm no different than the rest of you. I am absolutely no different than Nunya. Me and Nunya are just sitting here BSing. Like, I'm no different than Navy. I'm no different than Flava. I am not different than anybody. Who is she to question me,
Right,
though? It's
Navy.
weird. Norma, I don't know what she questioned you on. Are you talking about Nunya? Asking about providing I don't know what I don't know.
Anywho, I'm to me moving right along. It clearly was a misunderstanding. She told you something, and that's what she stood by, and that's fine. But it's okay. Like at the end of the day, even in the comments, I don't necessarily agree with everybody in the
Okay, Mom.
comments, but I can keep on scrolling past their comment. Like it's not, to me, it's not that
Yeah.
serious. This is YouTube, this is
Mm-mm.
social media. It's not, real life or anything like that. So, I may tell, I probably piss Flavor off all the time, but I may tell Flavor like, hey, you need to watch out for that person. Hey, I noticed this or whatever. That's just my opinion, and she knows, like, take with the thumbs it up and keep on moving. It doesn't mean that I think that she's not smart enough to make a decision for herself. I'm just using her as an example. PS. So if somebody's like, oh my gosh, she's with the Donut Girls, it's not like that at all. I'm just using her as an example because I seen her name first. Sorry. But then I don't want somebody to be able to turn around and say, well, you said I have to do this. No, it doesn't work like that. That's why we're here, is because we have our own minds to think with. You don't need to think what somebody else tells you to think. That's not how it works. So, you know, yep, she does, but you have to be able to accept constructive criticism, right? Right. And some of it you may not take. Like I tell people all the time in my professional life, take what you want and leave the rest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a whole different ballgame that I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fine.
And there's,
I mean,
there's
I
a
think we
lot of
also
that.
have given our stance on. I think both of us
Yeah.
have already said our stance on that situation, and ultimately, I wish her the best. I truly hope that the closure and the hope that she needs, that she receives that for sure. I hope that she finds a community that embraces her and loves on her and gives her, some purpose. That would be amazing. I don't think that would be a bad thing. Um, but, it just, yeah. What page is the
It's
Dono Girls on? Hold on, because I have my Facebook up and I can tell you. Because, I always
it's a
tease them
long
that
name.
they have 72 names in their name, but I can tell you in 2 seconds.
Julie. I
So it's
love
only on
Julie.
Facebook. Let's stick to Robin Molly. The Facebook name it's actually a group that you have to join, but it is Uncovering Fraud in the Von McCrae Case, aka Exposing Big Juicy. So that's where you can find a lot of information for the Dono Girls are putting out. I did see yesterday, I was scrolling through and I seen somebody had posted a really good man, I should have grabbed them too. But they posted a really good, I wanted to look more into it. Um, sorry, I'm getting off with my thoughts scrolling through here, but they posted some really good screenshots of like some documents and some of the laws and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, OMG, like that was really good. But they have a lot of great stuff in there. Don't steal their stuff though. Don't steal their stuff. But they do have a lot of good stuff in there, and it does give more, more information, and you know they're anyways they're doing a good job over there. So
Oh, you guys and these names. Stop. I'm crying.
Molly skin tightly. Wow. Molly go juicy. Oh, wow. Lisa, I truly believe that that is the case. I truly, truly, truly believe that she has I know people are like, my gut tells me, and in the back of her mind right now, she is like, wait a second, something is not right, but I can't question it out front, because if I question it out front, you know, Tamale's gonna get me, and then what's gonna happen, you know? Um, so
Julie.
I don't know.
You guys are gonna get me in trouble.
I don't even know who that is.
This is my favorite too.
That is my fist fights. Yeah, the fist fight me
That's
is
my
probably
favorite
my
too.
favorite right now.
That's probably my favorite too. Oh my gosh. Okay, one more. All right, y'all. We're gonna hop off here though. Are we gonna try to do the timeline tonight, or do you want to do that?
I can probably do it tonight if I get some
Okay.
work done. But yeah,
No, you're good.
do it
We
tonight.
can come back later. I just wanted to address this, like the stuff
Right
with the
that
media
second.
stuff, and then what she was running her mouth on and saying. But the timeline's really important. And then I think we do need to go back, because there is current lives that we need to go back and address the comments that are being made, because
Yeah.
there's
So
just no proof of them.
I do want to clarify shits and giggles, just so that you know, in case you're just coming into this. I just wanted you to know that more than enough funds for travel were received, and travel has already happened. So I don't think that any additional donation agencies. So
I'm confused. I'm a mod for Michelle, who's the Flava. Message
listen,
me.
Flava. Yeah, that's
Me and you need to have a talk,
I
like a
believe that
talk,
too cute.
actually.
Is Barkalot going live tonight though? I have no clue. We don't.
There's
We don't
names popping
know
up. You guys, this has been in Nanya can tell you, like names from Facebook. If anybody was paying attention yesterday, like we just talked about one, but then there was like 18 other names LinkedIn that got mentioned, and people were like, wait, but there's a whole nother group that haven't been mentioned that were a part of Diana Ricky, if you guys remember her, that are actually, there's people from that are actually linked in to other channels and stuff too. And this is all mind blowing. Like there's so much shit and crossover that I'm like, wait, you're from here, you're from here, you're from here.
right.
And not all of them are bad. Some of them are good, some of them are okay, this is a good thing because they are very fact orientated, but there's ones that I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll see you guys later on tonight.
Anybody have any closing
About
questions
4
before
hours.
we get out of here? Oh, yeah. Uni was out with his tooth last night. I didn't catch him. I'm not, you guys also, just so you know, I'm not a member on anybody's chats. I don't even know how to super chat somebody else. Like,
Me neither.
I'm not great at all this YouTube stuff. I'm lucky. We have figured out how to get a stream on YouTube. I actually figured out how to join the stream after I put it on YouTube late. Nunya sent me a message, or she said, "Are you coming to your own stream?" yesterday?
Yeah, I was sitting here in the live, like, are you gonna join your live? I don't know what's happening.
I didn't realize that when you go in, it starts and then you have to hit go. Yeah, there's a process, anyways. But we're getting it all figured out. I'm gonna try to figure out and make sure that I can share a video so we can go through and provide information with our timeline and stuff like that. So
yeah,
that is all we are off to do. Thank you, Nanya, once again for joining us. And if we have any updates or anything to discuss important, of course, we'll be on Facebook if you guys need us.
Yep.
Francis, that's a good.
What?
Thank you, Sarah.
Lynn says you're almost at 2K.
No shit. How?
I don't know.
How did that happen?
I don't know. I mean, I guess you've been talking on
1660.
Right now.
What?
Oh, yeah, so you did go up. Wow.
What are you guys doing?
That's
It's just
awesome.
a lot of people here waiting for me to get doxxed. We should start. I know what I'm going to do a fun post for you guys. And I'm going to do like, We're going to redo the questions post with my other half. Plus, you guys, just so you know, when you do see him, I'm going to tell you right now, you better stay out of his inbox because I don't play when it comes to my man, and he is fine as a motherfucker. But
Oh God, here we go. Now it's going to be, look, at first we need to call CPS. Now we're going to need to call APS to make sure that her man is protected. It's just, I mean, the list is going to go on and on.
please. No, but at the first thing, get me a Velcro suit and then take care of all the rest for me. Then I'll get a vacation. I've been saying I needed a vacation. So fun, Velcro fun first. Let's do it right. But anyways, we'll do some fun stuff. We'll play some question and answers with Nunya one of these days too, since Nunya is the question person.
Sure.
We'll play some fun. We'll do something like some fun trivia or something to like break up the monotony. Oh,
Smile
also,
said, please don't show your knife nonsense.
Right. Puts him in our hotline.
You put him on our hotline. Oh God, I can't. Okay.
Let's say if that happened. Oh, he's got such a dry sense of humor that would actually be hysterical. But what I was going to close. Oh, if you haven't seen the post on Facebook yet, we are trying to do some positive things. If you're a creator on YouTube, I mentioned it earlier, but if you're a creator on YouTube, Facebook, anything, have a page or anything, their anniversary is coming up. In honor of Marvan's story, positive words, a positive video, something uplifting for Marvan's, dignity. We're trying to do something right here. If there's a post on Facebook, if you want to state a word about them, a phrase, anything, I'm going to go through and put some videos together that are positive and some uplifting stuff. So if you want to be a part of that, that's over on Facebook. And with that, Contessa, over and out. Have a great day, everybody. Julie, shit the bed. And here comes Julie killing me at the end. Okay, Contessa is actually over and out. It's in my Facebook link is in the description, I think. It's in the description. Yes, do something positive. All right. Thanks, Hope. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Norma. Thanks, Flava. Of course, Kelly, Keith, all of you guys. All right, Contessa, over and out.